So I'm outside on the porch of my apartment doing a rant because I live with two really nice girls and they go to bed at 9 o'clock and it is 12:12 in the morning and I don't want to wake them up. But I was out with one of my best friends from high school and we were walking downtown of our city on the waterfront, and there were some girls who were screaming, "Give me a cigarette, give me a cigarette." And like, I didn't hear them because I was drinking, and when I'm drinking and when I'm happy, I really don't give a fuck, or I don't listen to people when they talk to me unless they're like speaking directly at me and my focus is on them. And my best friend's focus was on me, and she told me that these girls were asking for a cigarette. And like, I've calmed down on my drinking now, but like, this was just after like half a pitcher of beer and a couple of glasses of wine and some sour whiskeys and whatnot. And I just kind of was joking, and I was just like, "Only if you stay in school." Like, just joking, like joking humor. And a couple of them were like, "Okay, yeah, cool, whatever, sure." Like, they should have been, like, just joking. And then one girl actually went up and called me a hoe. And it's a good thing my friend was there because I was so stunned. I dropped my cigarettes while I was drunk, hearing this, like, shocked, and gave a nice girl, one of her friends, that stupid bitch, gave her a cigarette because she's like, "Can I please have one? Please, darling. Like, please, I'll really appreciate it." And I understand, like, I only turned 19 probably a month ago. And, like, I know what it's like to not be able to get your smokes and your liquor and whatever that the government doesn't want you to get. And, yeah. So I didn't mind giving her a cigarette, but if I was still 15, I probably would have beat down that girl's ass. Or if I was her parents, I would have spanked that girl. I would have locked her in her room and made her do homework. I'm just saying, because yes, it is okay to go and drink and smoke. I mean, okay, it's not okay to drink and smoke. It's not okay. I mean, it's bad for you and all that shit. But I mean, like, you get to a certain age and it's okay to have one or two drinks because it's better to do that. And then instead, when you turn 19, have your first drinks and then get too drunk when you're already 19, make a fool of yourself and be too sick. It's okay to build up a bit of a tolerance and be responsible. And with the smoking, it's not ever okay to smoke, but, you know, if you start when you're young and you get into the habit, it happens, and it is a very hard habit to quit. And that's why I recommend you never smoke. But yeah, I just can't believe the disrespect. You know, you're sitting there and asking me for something that, like, you can't even get yourself. And then when I make a joke, and it's not even offensive. It's no way offensive. Like, stay in school. Like, how is that fucking offensive? And it's not even like, I don't get why there is a reason to call someone a hoe over stay in school unless they're out of school, or maybe they've had a baby and gotten out of school, or they're just immature, or they're just one of those kids who think they're totally fucking ghetto or something. I don't even know. I don't know. I have no clue. But like, it really reminded me of when I lived in a group home and they would bum for smokes off of random people on the street, and some people would give them to them, and some people would have a conversation, and if they liked them enough, they would give them a smoke, and then some people said, "No, you're too young," and would just ignore them. That's kind of what it reminded me of. And in one way, I feel like these girls, they weren't troubled for asking for a smoke. They were troubled because they had such a reaction to stay in school. That should never ever be something offensive. I mean, what's wrong with our generation when someone says stay in school? I mean, if they're offended over it, they're not in school, right? Is my thinking wrong? I mean, I've had lots, like at least 9 of my friends in my whole life. And I mean, I got a lot of friends, but 9 of my friends have gotten pregnant, had babies. And they either had the babies taken away from them and did something else, but they still grew up enough that that would not offend them, or they had babies and a year later went back to school, or they did it while they were all pregnant and did extra courses to make sure they had everything insured by the time their baby came. I don't understand this. I don't. And then the girl had the nerve to say, I'm 17, who do you think you are? And I'm like, well, I'm 19, and I pay taxes, and I work a full-time job, and I go to university, and I'm 19, and I can buy my own smokes and liquor, and I have no problem, because I understand I have no problem giving you a smoke or whatever, but, like, you don't ask someone for something and then insult them. I think this is something I'm scared of. I am really scared that the youth of tomorrow, the kids just a bit younger than us, a bit younger than, 16, my niece, my kids of the future are going to be fucked because no one wants to teach them any better. It really scares me. When I was 15, and I'm not going to lie, now and then I'd bum a smoke when I first got addicted a little bit. I never told them off if they said no. I never told them off if they asked my age. I never told them off if they made a comment. Because I was asking for something. And I think that's a problem. People think that they can just insult someone, get whatever the fuck they want. Like, people think they're privileged. No. Fucking work your ass off. Okay? It doesn't matter whether your mommy and daddy's poor. Doesn't matter your motherfucking age. You go out there and you work your ass off and you will get what the fuck you want. Okay, don't do prostitution because this is what my ghetto rant is sounding like. Just, like, be mature. Be responsible. Make a name for yourself. Do some volunteer work. Get a job. Do well in school. You're gonna get what you want. Whether it's even a single fucking cigarette, if you can present yourself the right way. Anyways, I have gotten that out of my system, and I'm glad about that. It really upsets me, and it really worries me that you can just ask someone a favor, and then after a simple joke that really should not be offensive, that has been told on a gazillion 60s TV shows, 70s, 80s, stay in school, like, that can be offensive. Like, what's going on here? I don't know. I didn't think at 19 I was that old that phrase, iconic phrase, was offensive. I don't know. Maybe give me some opinions or comment or something. I don't know. I'm a little bit buzzed. Anyways, thanks for not judging me on my rant.